Hey, what is going on, gamers and members of the Gaming Nation? I am Buddy876 Gaming of Gamers Card, and welcome back to another Marvel-related video. And today, finally, I'm going to be giving you guys my review of Avengers Infinity War. So if you guys enjoy this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button, punch it in the face, and make sure you hit that notification bell and leave a like if you enjoyed. And without any further ado, let's get in. Actually, there's going to be one further ado. I do have an announcement. I am working on a song. It's in production. I have the thing written. Actually, I've got one more verse to write. But I've got everything. I'm working on it currently. My goal is to have this thing up on YouTube for you guys by the end of the week. And that's going to start a new thing over on my two channels. I'm going to be releasing video game themed music and stuff like that on this channel, and other music like my main music on my vlogs and stuff channel. So if you guys want to hear some of that once my video comes out, make sure you go subscribe to my other accounts. Link's going to be in the description, and make sure you subscribe to my friend's account because we're going to be doing another of those Minecraft PvP battles that I put up on the channel. Anyways, without any further ado, let's get into the video. So, Avengers Infinity War. Whew! My movie of 2018, if not of all time. It was so good. I saw it a week after it came out, but it's taken me this long to wrap my brain around most of what happened in the movie. It was that good. So we're going to start off, I'm going to start with where everybody started, how wrong we were about the Soul Stone. Because I was blown away by the revelation in this movie. And everybody thought that the Soul Stone was going to be somewhere we already knew it. But we'd never heard of Vormir before. And, good lord, that scene on Vormir with, spoiler warning, I'll probably put that at the beginning of the video. Anyway, that scene on Vormir with Gamora and Thanos and the Red Skull Wraith creature thing was beautiful. It was beautifully shot, beautifully choreographed. Everything was amazing in that scene. I loved it so flippin' much. I mean, Avengers Infinity War, that movie, in its entirety, was exactly what I wanted, and exactly what I expected, if not better. But that scene really drove home the fact that Thanos is willing to go through anything in order to achieve his goals, even sacrificing his own daughter. Which then brings us to the second topic I wanted to bring up, the snap. Now, there's a lot of people out there saying the snap is not possible, but then getting contradicted by themselves, Pat, by saying because he's got all the Infinity Stones, he can make his snap sound like whatever he wanted it to. Which I think is the more plausible explanation to this whole he can't snap in a gauntlet thing. But all in all, the way they executed it, after I looked through and I rewatched that scene, I originally didn't like it. I originally thought that it wasn't played out enough. But that was the point. The whole movie was leading up to that snapping moment, and they didn't play it out because it was an expectation subversion, which is what a lot of movies nowadays are. You expect something, and then it doesn't happen. Like The Last Jedi, for example. Expectation subversion. But after rewatching the scene, they didn't do it as badly as I thought they did, because what I wanted them to do was Thanos standing on top of a hill, surrounded by all the Avengers, and he just reaches up, makes some weird remark, and just slow motion snaps his finger. But the way they did it was way more realistic, and now I love how they did it after watching it a couple of times, because instead of this big scene, it was Thor trying to take revenge for what Thanos has caused him, and Thanos, in desperation, using his escape plan. And this actually is a beautiful segue. I'm going to come back to all the Avengers that died, but that's a segue into another thought that I had, which this thought has something to do with the orange world that Thanos appears in after the snap. Because in this little plane of existence, you see Gamora, and she asks, "What did it cost?" And Thanos replied, "Everything." Now, there's a lot of speculation as to what this land is, what this dimension is. I firmly believe that Thanos was in the half of the universe that was killed, but because he had the entire Infinity Gauntlet, it took him to the Soul Universe, which is inside the Soul Stone on the Gauntlet, which is where Gamora is, which I guarantee you Gamora is inside the Soul Stone on the Gauntlet, and he was transported in there, having to face his own face Gamora, who asks him, what was it worth to wipe out half the universe? He had to face her and face her disappointment before he was allowed to go back into the real world. So I think that he, in that split second, when he snapped his finger, he died and then was resurrected again thanks to the Soul Stone. Because remember, every stone in the Gauntlet had its own use. And I think they were all used to not only wipe out half the universe, but preserve Thanos so that way he didn't perish in the snap. Because if you snap your finger and you're in the half, that's it, you're done. What you did, you don't get to be around to see it. But that's my thought on the Soul Stone part of it. Now, the next part of the movie that I want to discuss is the deaths. Now, I'm not one to cry during movies. There were two instances in this movie that I cried. One was just a small cry, but the other one I was bawling. First 5 minutes of the movie, I knew it was going to be sad when I cried during the first 5 minutes of a movie. Thor is getting his skull crushed by Thanos. Heimdall is laying on the ground almost dead. And Loki is face to face with Thanos. Favorite line of the entire movie: when Loki looked up to Thanos and uttered the words, "We have a Hulk." And then the Hulk decided to bust in and wreck the place. But right after that, Loki is about to turn to Thanos' side, or Thanos thinks he's going to. But then, as he's doing this, is attempting to double cross Thanos and kill him. But Thanos knows better and chokes Loki and kills him. Brutal. I cried during that scene because Loki is one of my favorite Marvel characters ever. My second favorite MCU character and my third favorite Marvel character. And to see that death, and I get it, Loki's died twice, so he's probably not going to be dead for long. But if what Thanos said is correct, when he uttered no resurrections this time, maybe that's what happened. Maybe that's what happened? No. Maybe Loki's gone for good. Except in Avengers 4, because they're going back in time, and Tom Hiddleston's already been cast to play in Avengers 4, which I am excited about because Tom Hiddleston is one of my favorite MCU actors, besides like Chris Pratt and Robert Downey Jr., because, you know, they're awesome. No, the second death came at the end of the movie No surprise there. This is where everybody else in the theater started crying. Spider-Man. Rest in peace. But Tom Holland, oh my goodness, he delivered an outstanding performance. His entire death scene was ad-libbed on the spot, and it was so emotionally jarring that nobody, and I mean nobody who has a heart and a soul that's not covered in stone, would not have cried during. It was so painful, where all the other people just disappeared in a snap. Peter felt what was coming because of his spidey sense, his newly developed spidey sense, mind you, and he could feel it coming, and he could feel himself breaking apart, and Tom used that to deliver an emotionally jarring performance which broke fans' hearts around the world, including mine. It was by far the best executed line in the entire movie. Alright. Moving on, I want to now talk about Thanos himself and the reason for going on this genocidal crusade. In the comics, Thanos wiped out half the universe only to impress Lady Death, who in the comics was the incarnation of Death herself, and she exists in the MCU as seen in the Collector's Museum and on the planet where the Power Stone was originally found in murals on the wall. But that's not how it went in the movies, which I'm glad. In the movies, they decided to, instead of make Thanos a mad, just completely evil being, he has a reason for doing what he's doing, and it actually makes a lot of sense, mostly. In the movie, he wants to wipe out half the universe so the way the surviving half can flourish off the natural resources, because he saw his home planet destroyed because they ran out of natural resources, and he doesn't want that to happen to other planets. He tells us about an incident where he wiped out half of the planet and the other half flourished, when he was talking about when he grabbed Gamora, and I don't know the exact words, but it was basically, your people were abusing natural resources and kids are going to bed hungry and stuff like that. And then he goes on his quest and he's like, now kids know nothing but full bellies and blue skies, and it's a paradise. So he explains that his idea works, and his idea has legs and can stand and can run on them, but there is, and this makes him a very grounded character, and somebody you root for, and somebody you empathize with, making him the best Marvel villain of all time. But there's one big flaw in all of this. Why not just double the resources, or triple the resources, or use that gauntlet to create worlds of nothing but the resources we are running out of? Running out of oil? Boom! A world made of oil. Are we running out of coal? Boom! A world made of coal. Are we running out of pigs? Boom! A world covered in pigs. There were so many things he could have done differently, but the one thing that keeps him on this side of the line of good and evil is the fact that he chose mass genocide. Everything else I can understand. Like, he doesn't want to see the same thing that happened to his homeworld happen to other people, but he goes about it all wrong. He destroys half the universe rather than creating a surplus of natural resources for those people who he killed to continue to survive on. He could have done a number of things, but what he decided, mass genocide, was the only possible outcome. Now, I get that he's going based on what he could have done to his home world and what he did to Gamora's home world, but he didn't have the Infinity Gauntlet then. He just had an idea, and it worked. But now that he has the power of the universe at his fingertips, quite literally, he could have snapped and made all the natural resources come back. And if they start to run low on resources again, boom, there you go. They're back. But he chose to go with the mass genocide, which is what makes him a villain. The best Marvel villain, but still a villain nonetheless. Alright, that was the review for this movie. I think the hype review I gave it was like an 8 or a 9 out of 10. This is the time of the review where I give you guys my official review. This is like where I take the hype review and see if the movie beat it or did not. So, for the Marvels Avengers Infinity War, the final review scoring from 0 to 10 is 11.2. All I can say is Avengers Infinity War is not only the best Marvel movie, but the best Disney movie, the best movie, and my all-time favorite way to be entertained. I love this movie so much. The Russo brothers and Kevin Feige did so good on this movie that now I don't know how they're going to top this. How can you beat an 11.2? I don't know how they're going to top this. I haven't seen Ant-Man and the Wasp yet. I was going to do a movie hype on it, but I didn't get the chance to until it was too late. But holy crap, if they can do better on my scale than an 11.2 with Avengers Infinity Wars, or the next Avengers, I will be surprised. Because I don't really think that there's any way they can beat this. They made the best movie of all time in my book. I don't know. Anyways, dudes, thank you so much for watching this episode of Movie Review. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button and punch the subscribe button right in the face and click that little notification bell. Make sure you stay up to date with all of my videos. And this is going to conclude my Avengers Infinity War anthology series. Thank you guys for sticking around. There's going to be more gaming videos up on the channel within the coming months. And I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.